The Samaveda, Kanda 4, Prapathaka 3, Ardha 1. Dasata 4311, Soma Pavamana. 3 verses. Fleet as swift steeds, thy cows celestial have been poured, O Pavamana, with the milk into the vat. Sages who make thee bright, O friend whom riches love, have shed continuous streams from our realm of air. The beams of Pavamana, sent from the earth and heaven, his ensigns who is ever steadfast, travel round when on the sieve the golden hued is cleansed. He rests within the jars as one who seats him in his place. O thou who seest all things, sovereign as thou art, and passing strong, thy rays encompass every form, pervading with thy natural powers, thou flowest on, and as the whole world's Lord, O Soma, thou art King. And it's important to realize, just like in the Christian service, where people actually believe, or at least reference, the juice or wine and the bread as if it's, the blood and the flesh. So also in some of these rituals, they call this what it's not physically. And Dasata 4312, 3 verses. From heaven hath Pavamana made, as 'twere, the marvelous thunder, and the lofty light of all mankind, the gladdening and suspicious juice of thee, O Pavamana, King, flows o'er the woolen straining cloth. Thy juice, O Pavamana, sends its rays abroad like splendid skill, like luster all heaven's light to see. Now, if they were able to make steel wool, well, that would degrade, and then you'd end up with little chips at some point. Little metal filaments or rust, and so wool and hair probably was the best thing that they could come up with. Dasata 4313, Soma Pavamana. 6 verses. Impetuous, bright, have they come forth, unwearied in their speed, like bulls, driving the black skin far away. May we attain the bridge of bliss, leaving the bridge of woe behind. The rightless dasa may we quell. The mighty Pavamana's roar is heard, as 'twere the rush of rain. The lightning rashes move in heaven. Flashes. Indra pour our abundant food, with store of cattle and of gold, of heroes, Soma, and of steeds. Flow onward, dear to all mankind, fill full the mighty heavens and earth, as dawn, as Surya with his beams, on every side, O Soma, flow round us with thy protecting stream, as rasa flows around the world. And gold is such a good conductor, so thinking about lightning makes sense in that Context. Dasata 4314 Soma Pavamana, 6 verses. Flow on, O thou of lofty thought, flow swift in thy beloved form. Saying I go, where dwell the gods, preparing what is unprepared, and bringing store of food to man. Make thou the rain descend from heaven. Even here is he who, swift of course, hath, with the river's wave, rode down from heaven upon the straining cloth, with might producing glare. The juice enters the purifying sieve, far seeing, sending forth its light, inviting him from far away, and even from near at hand. The juice for Indra is poured forth as meath. In union have they sung the hymn. With stones they urge the golden-hued. Indu for Indra, for his drink. And the divine side, it's important to realize that they are, united rather than competing. Dasata 4315 Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. The glittering maids send Sura forth, the glorious sisters, close allied, send Indu forth, their mighty lord. Pervade, O Pavamana, all our treasures, with repeated light. Pressed out, O God, thyself for gods. Pour on us, Pavamana, rain, as service and fair praise for gods. Pour forth unceasingly for food. And one thing that we see carried over most of all in terms of an afterlife is this principle of, continual food. Because that's some of the worries that some people have is like, well, once I've used up the good merit for all my deeds, I'm going to have to come back and all this stuff. And so how do we get beyond that? It's like Dasata 4316 Agna, 3 verses. The watchful guardian of the people hath been born. Agna, the very strong for fresh prosperity, with oil upon his face, with high heaven-touching flame, he shineth splendidly pure for the Bharatas. O Agna, the Angarasas discovered thee what time thou layest hidden. Fleeing back from wood to wood, thou by attrition art produced as conquering might, and men, O Angaras, call thee the son of strength. The men enkindle Agna in his threefold seat, ensign a sacrifice, the earliest household priest. With Indra and the gods together on the grass, let the wise priest sit to complete the sacrifice. And sometimes things are done, but the fact that there are those who know how to do more can complete the matter. So it's important to let them do their thing. Dasata 4317 Mitra Varuna, 3 verses. This Soma hath been pressed for you. Lo strengtheners Mitra Varuna. List, ye hear to this, may call. Both kings, who never injure aught, have come to their sublimest home, 1,000-pillared, firmly based, worshipped with fat libation, lords of gifts, Aditya's sovereign kings. They wait on him whose life is true. And back to what I said previously about the thought and truth is that, well, you're truly alive, but, do you live the truth? The Santa 4318, Indra, 3 verses. Armed with the bones of dead R.T.H, Indra with unresisted might, the 99 Vritras slew, he searching for the horse's head that in the mountains lay concealed, founded it in Saryanavad lake. Then, straight, they recognized the mystic name of the creative steer, there in the mansion of the moon. So they mean the 27 or 28 days of the moon, right? That they were looking for it to be in a particular one. And perhaps it's, the one a year, so this mansion during this lunar month. Of course, there's occasionally 2 of the same, right? Dasata 4319, Indra Agna, 3 verses. As rain from out the cloud for you, Indra and Agna, from my thought, this noblest praise hath been produced. Indra and Agna, listen to the singer's call, accept his songs, fulfill, ye mighty lords, his prayers. Give us not up to indigence, ye heroes, Indra, Agna, Nar, to slander and reproach of men. And slander, so, bind them from doing wrong, right? But reproach, bind yourself from doing wrong. So pairing that's important. Dasata 43110, Soma Papamana, 3 verses. Gold hued as one who giveth strength, flow on for gods to drink, a draught for Vayu and the Marut host. The steer shines brightly with the gods, dear sage in his appointed home, even Pavamana unbeguiled, O Pavamana sent by prayer, roaring about thy dwelling place, ascend to Vayu as law bids. And people fool themselves. They may fool other creations, but you don't fool divinity, and you don't fool the light beings. Dasata 43111, Soma Pavamana, 2 verses. O Soma, Indu every day thy friendship hath been my delight. Many friends follow me, help me, thou tawny hued, pass on beyond these barriers. Close to thy bosom am I, Soma, day by and night, draining the milk, all golden hued, Surya himself, refulgent with his glow, have we, as birds, o'ertaken in his course. So does the Soma absorb some of the milk? Even though we got this mix, it's supposed to be you would mix up. Or is it some sort of almost vampiric connection to astral energy or something? Dasata 43112, Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. Active while being purified, he hath assailed all enemies. They deck the sage with holy hymns. The red hath mounted to his shrine. Strong Indra hath approached the Jews. In his firm dwelling let him rest. O Indu Soma, send us now great opulence from every side. Pour on us treasures thousandfold. And let us adorn ourselves with the verses that we go through, that we go over, that we use. Dasata 4:3-1. Indra, 3 verses. Drink Soma, Indra, Lord of Bays, and let it cheer thee, the stone like a well-guided courser, directed by the presser's arms, hath pressed it. So let the draught of joy, thy dear companion, by which, O Lord of Bays, thou slayest Vritras, delight thee, Indra, Lord of princely treasures. Mark closely, Magavan, the word I utter. This eulogy, recited by Vasishtha, accept the prayers I offer at thy banquet. And one important thing is that we can translate some of these things into modern terms, and we might say car. We might say that God is the Lord of cars, or that are the Lord of speed rails or something. The Sata 4:3-1-14. Indra, 3 verses. Heroes of one accord brought forth and formed for kingship. Indra, who wins the victory in all encounters. For power and firmness in the field, a great destroyer, fierce and exceeding strong, stalwart and full of vigor. The holy sages form a ring to view and sing unto the ram. Insiders very brilliant from all deceit are with your chanters nigh to hear. Bards joined in song to Indra, so that he might drink the Soma juice, the Lord of light, that he whose law stands fast might win aid with power and with the help he gives. And we ask for means, and some of these means are our own abilities, and some of these means are outside of our abilities. Dasata 4:3-1-15. 2 verses. He who as sovereign, Lord of men, moves with his chariots unrestrained, the Vritra slayer, conqueror of all fighting hosts, preeminent, is praised in song. Honor that Indra, Puru Hanuman, for his aid, him in whose hand of old the fair, sustaining bolt of thunder, mighty like the god, like Surya, was deposited. And I don't remember Puru Hanuman. What does that mean? If you know what any of these terms or names mean. I mean, sometimes you don't have to know what they mean, but it can help. Dasata 4:3-1-16, 3 verses. The sage of heaven, whose heart is wise, when laid between both hands, with roars, gives us delightful powers of life. He, the bright sun, when born, illumined his parents, who had sprung to life. Great sun, great strengtheners of law, onward to a glorious home, free from all guile and dear to men, flow with enjoyment to our praise. And we certainly want other creations to be pleased with our worship even if we are worshiping only ultimate divinity. Dasata 4:3-1:17, Soma Pavamana. 4 verses. For verily, Pavamana, thou divine, endued with brightness, splendor, calling all creatures to immortality, with whom doth R.T.H. Navagva opened, fastened doors, by whom the sages gained their wish, by whom they won the fame of lovely Amrita in the felicity of gods. Now, between immortality and with whom, we have 4, but we only have 2 verses here. We don't have any dots indicating something missing. So is it a misprint, or did they leave out verses because he didn't want to say what it said? Dasata 4:3-1:18, Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. Soma, while filtered, with his way flows through the long wool of the sheep, roaring while purified before the voice of song. With prayers they cleanse the mighty steed, sporting in wood above the fleece. Our hymns intoned have praised him of the triple height. He hath been hastened to the jars, bountiful like an eager horse, and lifting up his voice, while filtered, glided on. Now, as much as we talk about abundance, it is good to save for later from such abundance. And that includes ritual food and drink and stuff too. Dasata 4:3-1:19, Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. Father of holy hymns, Soma flows onward, the father of the earth, father of heaven, father of Agni, Surya's generator, the father who begat Indra and Vishnu, Brahman of gods, the leader of the poets, Risha of sages, chief of savage creatures, falcon amid the vultures, axe of forests. Over the cleansing sieve goes Soma singing. He, Soma Pavamana, like a river, hath stirred the wave of voice, our songs and praises. Beholding these inferior powers, the hero, well knowing, takes his stand among the cattle. And the hero knows that he's a tool. Means, well, there's negative connotations calling somebody a tool, but you know what I mean, not that way. Dasata 4:3-1:20, Agni, 3 verses. Hither for powerful kinship I call Agni, him who prospers you, most frequent at our solemn rites, that through this famed one's power he may stand by us, even as Tvashtar comes, unto the forms that must be shaped. This Agni is the Lord supreme above all glories. Mid the gods may he come nigh to us with strength. And we certainly work on connecting to the connector, not just using the connector. Dasata 4:3-1:21, Indra, 3 verses. This poured libation Indra drink, immortal, gladdening, excellent. Streams of the bright have flowed to thee here at the seat of holy law. When, Indra, thou dost guide thy bays, there is no better charioteer. None hath surpassed thee in thy might, none with good steeds o'ertaken thee. Sing glory now to Indra. Say to him your solemn eulogies. The drops poured forth have made him glad. Pay reverence to his noblest might. And as we strive for the best, we should focus on the best of manifestations. Dasata 4:3-1:22, Indra, 3 verses. Indra be pleased, drive forward, hero, striker of thy bays, fair like a sage, delighting in the meat, drink of the juice, virtuous joy. O Indra, fill thy belly anew with meat that seems to flow from heaven. The sweet moist raptures of this juice have come, as 'twere to heaven, to thee. Indra, victorious, Mitra-like, smote, like a Yate, Vritra dead. As Brigu quelled his foes, he cleft Vala in Soma's rapturous joy. And even the harsh things that must be done, find the joy in that, and realize that it's pleasing to something that hasn't over moralized or whitewashed reality.